How can father help in postpartum depression? I think I myself have seen a lot of moms who still feel it's a taboo, first, and secondly, even if they have to go to psychiatrist or a therapist, and they will never accompany the husband with them. They will think कि मैं husband को लेके जाऊंगी, husband उसका कुछ और ही मतलब निकालेंगे, and then say why तुम पागल हो रही हो, and why it is happening, why you need a therapist, you can talk to me, and things like that. And secondly, the husband, I think they don't still understand what is postpartum depression.
Oh, yeah. It's not just husbands. People don't understand what depression is. Okay, let me just do this quickly. What is a mental health disorder? What is depression? And let's also talk about anxiety. There are three different states that humans find themselves in. Okay, so there is the depressed state, which is living in the past, which is not feeling connection with people, which is feeling isolation when we are disconnected with ourselves and people we love, is a depressed state. Okay. Then there is anxiety. Anxiety is fear for future. What is going to happen tomorrow? The kids will grow up. What will become of them? They're healthy, not healthy, lots of such things. Basically, when we live in the future, it's anxiety. When we live in the past, we are depressed. Now, where is peace? Is in the moment. Okay. So, postpartum depression or any depression is what? It's not feeling connected enough. It's feeling of isolation. It's feeling of this new life that is not yours anymore. It's this feeling of not having so much agency on your own self. You have this child, you're barely 24, 25, 26 yourself, and now you're not free anymore because you have to look after a child for a lifetime. You do not get the support that you need. You go into the shell, and that same thing we were talking about before was that the child is born and you don't matter as much.
Yeah.
And over and above that, the limitations that we have, ये खाओ वो खाओ, घर से नहीं निकल सकते, 14 दिन नहीं निकल सकते, 1 महीना नहीं निकल सकते. So listen, a very, very bright girl who had a career, who had a life, who had friends, who was going out every day, is now stuck to home.
Yeah.
And this young person is now responsible for another being, and there is nobody to understand. That grieving of losing that earlier life, which was carefree. So a lot of postpartum depression comes from two places. One is actually there is that grieving time required to left that carefree life.
Yes.
and become a parent and be responsible for somebody else. And the other thing is that we don't get the support, and there is so much limitation, and people don't understand. So mother-in-laws, I think, and mothers do a great job in taking care of your baby. They know how to wrap the baby, they know how to feed the baby. You don't know that at all, which is a lot of help. But one thing that I feel do wrong is that they put a lot of limitation on women. Tell me, why can't women go out and have a coffee 5 days or 10 days after the child is born?
I too agree with you, and they put a lot of pressure on you not to see a phone because your eyes will get deteriorated. They have their own superstition. I want to discuss one of my thing that I was forced to wear that scarf, and I never like wearing anything over my head. It's just I don't feel like, and they were like, सर पे ठंड लग जाएगी, बच्चे को ठंड लग जाएगी, सर पे ठंड लग जाएगी, and पहनो पहनो पहनो. I never wore scarf, and whoever was coming to my house to meet the child, everyone was मतलब told that she's not wearing scarf. ठंड लग जाएगी, ठंड लग जाएगी. I think that pressure the person feels is too much. And I think that is too much for everything. And even if any somebody is coming, and they will never say good things, they will always say something or the other कि ये अच्छा नहीं है, या ये ऐसे क्यों कर रहे हो, ऐसे कर लो. I think all that is a lot of pressure on a woman, on a new mother who is still juggling to understand everything. उसके भी stitches नहीं खुले हैं, and then you are coming and telling to feed her. You can't even sit when you have a small cut or something like that, and she's sitting and still feeding. And now you are saying कि अपना सर ढको, फोन पे मत देखो, ठीक है, यही बुला हुआ खाना खाना है आपको, and you can't have coffee. अगर कॉफी पियोगे तो you were saying कि go and have coffee. I think coffee का भी बहुत बड़ा myth है कि if you will drink coffee, the child will not sleep.
Okay, anything in extreme is bad.
Extreme is
right?
bad,
And we
but
understand that. Does
see,
a mother not
obviously,
understand that? Yeah.
no mother will going to
Oh.
drink 10 cups of coffee in a day. But then even having a 1 cup of coffee or having her favorite food, they crave so much for the first 40 days. And I think that is the spark for postpartum depression, and that continues for a
Yeah,
long
because you're
time.
disconnected to yourself.
Yes.
You cannot be the person you are. Your agency has been taken away.
Yeah.
People don't really understand what you're feeling. So it's the same thing,
Same
take
thing.
care of her body, take care of her sleep, take care of the head, thand na lag jaye. But I think the most important thing to be taken care of is her emotional state
Yes.
when she's in that state. So that feeling of disconnection from one's own self, feeling isolated, is always the reason for depression. You will never see a person who is okay, not wanting to meet people or not wanting to just sit and chat.
Yes.
A depressed person is basically isolated and then is forced to stay in the past. So what is this mother going to do is, my life was much better. Oh my God, I could do anything. She's not in the moment. And it's very dangerous, Garima, because what we need to realize is that we are feeding the baby. We need to give the skin to skin. At this time, the child cannot ask for affection. And the child can feel the mother's anxiety. If the mother is anxious, if the mother is unhappy, if the mother is not feeling seen, heard, understood, it is going to our child's body, mind, and soul. So a lot of, and can't do that all on the podcast in the little time that we have, but something in psychology which is very, very well known is attachment styles. So a secured attachment style comes from a emotionally alert, emotionally available mother for a child. If we are not alert, available, happy, we cannot give a secured attachment style to our child. We've got a lot of things wrong. When a child is a little older and the child is clinging on to us, a lot of people will tell us that, your child is not independent. Problem hai, your parenting is a problem. But a secured attachment is that child wants to feel you, wants to be with you. And we've got it so wrong. And again, it is all dependent on a mother's mental health. I am disconnected with myself. I have lost complete agency on myself. I cannot have physical comfort with my husband. I am told what to do. I am not a 2-year-old child. I'm instructed to how to stand, how to sit, what to wear, what to put on my head, and made to feel all the time that I'm not capable of doing anything on my own. How am I going to feel? I am going to get depressed. And when I get depressed, I lose the connection with my child. And if I lose the connection of what I am supposed to give to him or her during this early stage of my life, I am putting my child to risk of depression and anxiety later. They say that mental health conditions are genetic. Not really. What is genetic is the environment that we've given to a child. A child's emotional needs need to be met. If a mother's emotional needs are not met, if she's not okay, if she is not in her element, if she's not happy, if she's not understood, how do we give that to the child? And it's very scary, Garima, because I work with people and I work with young people. I've got 20, 30-year-olds coming. And like I was telling you earlier, I always ask them, how was your mother? Who was your mother? Because I know that that's one relationship which shapes and makes or breaks a child. And they all tell me the same thing, that don't remember her doing anything for herself. She's quite resentful. She was angry. She wasn't happy. It breaks my heart because it's not just her. That burden a child carries later of feeling that the mother was never happy is too much to take. So there's such a huge connection. And again, the father's role becomes even bigger here because he needs to be more involved emotionally, physically, if possible. Today, there's paternity leaves possible. But somebody needs to educate him that this is important. And if my wife is happy, if the mother of my child is happy, my children are going to study better. If if the mother of my child is sorted, has a good relationship, then my children are going to have better marriages. If you tell this to a man or a father, would it not make sense to him? It would.
Definitely.
But nobody talks about that. And thank you, Garima, for bringing this podcast up to bring these conversations going, because I think that's what the world needs. We need to talk another language. There's enough that is going on, but this is something which I think is going to change the world for our children, and that's something that we need to do for them, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah.